What's up, y'all? So today let's talk about the best place to train for calisthenics athletes who are also busy professionals. So the way I look at it is busy with work, busy with family, busy with life equals less time to commute and less time to spend at a gym. Now, I'm not telling you the gym is a terrible place to train at. I'm not telling you to cancel your gym membership, but I'm telling you that home workouts are more efficient and could be just as good as gym workouts with less distractions. I'm JD. I'm a 40-year-old hybrid athlete. I use calisthenics, weightlifting, and running as my primary modalities of training. And today I'm going to take you guys along with me through my home workout, and we're going to have a discussion about the pros versus the limitations of training calisthenics or just training in general at home. So first off, I'm starting this workout with some pull work on the rings. So I'm starting off with 3 sets of explosive L-sit pull-ups. And I'm also starting off with a warm-up set. And I'm going to follow this up with 5 sets of ring muscle ups. In the ring muscle ups, I'm going from 1 rep to 3 reps to 5 reps, back to 3 reps, back to 1 rep. So let's get back to the discussion about home workouts. And when it comes down to our home workouts, we're typically going to have less distractions as long as we can find some time to work out when the house is empty. Maybe you have kids, maybe your kids are at school. Maybe you have a wife, maybe your wife is at work, or maybe she's out with her friends or whatever it may be. When you can find that quiet time at home is going to be the ideal time to get your home workout in. For me, the less distractions, the better when it comes down to my workouts, not only because I can really hone in and focus on what I'm doing with the workout, but I can also get some other stuff done while I'm at home. This might be writing between sets. That's something that I find myself doing on a regular basis. Sometimes I'll get some reading in, and then other times I'll just watch YouTube or maybe catch up on some type of podcast that I want to listen to. I remember back when I was living in Hawaii, and maybe some of you guys who've been following my channel for some years remember back when I was living in Hawaii, I had a pretty decent little home workout set up, and a lot of times I just do my home workouts and I watch old boxing matches, be it Andre Ward, Bernard Hopkins, Hagler Hearns, or maybe some other classic boxing match. But you might not be into boxing. You also might not want to write while you're working out. The beauty of having your own home workout setup is that you can customize this workout space to your liking. Whatever you want in your workout space, whatever you want in your sanctuary, your dojo, is what you can put in there. And you can also customize this workout equipment to whatever your goals are and whatever training style that you like to partake in. So let's go over some of the essential equipment that I want in my home workout setup. So number 1 is going to be a pull-up bar. I think pull-ups are an essential exercise, not only if you're somebody who does calisthenics, but I just think it's a essential compound movement for anybody who wants to build a strong upper body. So a stable pull-up bar and a pull-up bar that I can hang some gymnastics rings from is mandatory. Now, another thing that I like about having a pull-up bar in the house is that when I want to train movements like planche, or if I want to train some movement where I need some type of band assistance, I can always hang those bands from the pull-up bar. For me, the mandatory equipment that I need in my home workout setup is a pull-up bar. I need some gymnastics rings. I need resistance bands, and preferably I'd like some parallettes. Now, one thing that I would like to have is a solid dip station. And the reason why I'd like to add a more solid dip station into my workout setup is during the wintertime, I like to do a lot of strength work. And I like to start doing some weighted dips from home during the wintertime. And that way I don't have to walk to the gym or drive to the park and do my weighted dips out in the cold. But even if I don't get another dip station at my house, having this minimal setup at the house equals quick and efficient training sessions. And that's something that you might not be able to get when you're at a gym or maybe even at a calisthenics park. You might get caught up in a conversation, and a lot of times what ends up happening at a gym or at a park is that you end up waiting for equipment or having to wait for a pull-up bar if you go to a calisthenics park that's pretty busy. Now, as you guys can see right here, I'm working on some band-assisted half-lay planches, and this is another thing that I love about this home workout setup is I can hang those resistance bands from my pull-up bar, And, I'm not in anybody's way at the gym when it comes down to doing this movement. And a lot of times when you're at the gym doing some type of calisthenics movement where you're taking up space, I typically would hang this from a pull-up bar or hang this from some Smith machine or something. And, you're taking up space from people who want to use equipment. And when I'm at a calisthenics park, sometimes it's not as easy to set up these resistance bands. And sometimes you're going to be in the way of somebody who wants to do pull-ups. So I like to be at my house, or I like to be at my home and be able to get my band work in and not have to worry about, am I taking up space, or am I getting in somebody's way, or do I need to move my equipment when I'm done with my set? So in a sense, training from home, especially doing some skill training from home, gives me a little bit of peace of mind that I'm not going to get while I'm training at a park or at a gym. Now, one piece of equipment that I highly recommend everybody gets for their home workout setup is some parallettes. Super diverse piece of equipment. If you're a beginner, you can do exercises like push-ups or pike push-ups on them. If you are, in the intermediate to advanced levels, you can do exercises like handstand push-ups or start working towards exercises like planche or do planche progressions on them. For me, I'm just getting back into planche training. This is actually my first session of doing any type of actual skill planche work in probably about 6 to 8 weeks. But handstand push-ups is an integral part of my training program. I personally believe that everybody should be working to get a handstand, and everybody should be working towards getting the overhead pressing strength and the balance to be able to do handstand push-ups. And if learning how to hand balance or do handstand push-ups is one of your goals, go to my website, hybridathlete40.com. You can take the assessment, and from there, maybe book a consultation with me. We can talk about how you can reach your goal of unlocking a handstand or unlocking handstand push-ups, amongst other goals that you might have. I've got 9 years in the game in calisthenics, and I understand what it's like to be a busy professional and not a 21-year-old kid who has 2 to 3 hours to train every day. I can either recommend a training program to you, or if you're a good fit, we can do one-on-one coaching. Guidance always helps when it comes down to your calisthenics journey, so a training program or one-on-one coaching might be what you need to break through your plateau. But anyways, let's get back to the discussion. So we talked about the pros of training at home. So now let's talk about some of the limitations that you might face if you solely use home workouts as your only place to train. So for me, some of the skills that I'm working on and some of the heavy accessories that I need to accomplish some of these skills is something that I can't train at my house. Another thing that I can't do from home is train heavy on the legs. And that's because I just don't have enough space for a squat rack. I don't want to, keep a bunch of heavy plates at my house. I just simply don't have the space for that. I live in San Francisco. If you guys are familiar with living in San Francisco, spaces are not that big, and it's really not optimal to have a home gym. So you just have to make do with what you got, and more than likely you're going to have like a hybrid of training from home and training from the gym or training from the park. So a couple of examples of things that I can't train from home is, one, the ring handstand push-ups and some of the other progressions that I'm using to unlock the reverse muscle up, because I don't have a high enough bar, and the bar that I have at home isn't stable enough. Another accessory exercise that I need to do at the gym is preacher curls. I don't have a preacher curl set up at home, and I don't have enough weights at home to go heavy enough on curls to actually get the type of stimulus that I need to progress on that reverse muscle up. One day when I do have enough money to buy a home and enough space in that home to set up a home gym, I want to do the majority of my training at home. But even when I do have that set up, I'm still going to want to go to the gym, and I'm still going to want to go to the park to train every once in a while for a couple different reasons. I'm going to want to build community. You can't build community when you're training alone at home. Another thing is that sometimes I just miss going out and training in a park because I want to be outdoors. I like to get that vitamin D. I like to have some sunshine. I like to feel the breeze. I like to be outdoors. Sometimes it's better to be outside than being cooped up in a gym or being cooped up in your own home. So guys, let's take a little quick break from the discussion and get back to the workout. And the exercise I'm doing right here is deep pelican push-ups. And just to sneak in another pro about working out at home is a lot of times it makes you get a little creative. One of the progressions on the rings that I work on when I'm at a park or when I'm at the gym is pelican curls. And on this bull bar that I'm using at home, I can't really do pelican curls because I lean forward a little bit too much. So I got creative, elevated my feet, and I started doing pelican push-ups on the couch. And man, I've been loving these. Working out from home really does force us to get creative, and it forces us to maximize what we have available to us. And back to the workout. So the last exercise that I'm going to do before I sign out here is I'm doing a few sets of ring pull-ups and ring L-sit pull-ups, that is. And with these, I'm just focusing on getting some more reps in before I finish up the workout. One of the things that I feel like I've fallen off on over the years, I focus so much on building strength through movements that I kind of forgot to get that capacity work in, and I forgot to get that endurance work in. And even though I'm only doing sets of 5 and 10 here on these pull-ups at the end of the workout, I'm already tired, and this is just kind of like a cherry on top. It's kind of like running that extra last half a mile, or that running that extra last mile when you go out for a good, 5-mile run, and you're just like, you know what, let me just do one more. But anyways, guys, to sum things up, I think that having a home workout setup is essential, especially for those of us who are, 40 plus years old, calisthenics athletes, for those of us who are busy professionals, for those of us who have a lot of responsibilities. It's a time saver, and it just makes our life more efficient. With that being said, I think working out at the park and the gym is essential as well. Now, if you guys got value from this video, go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in learning more about my hybrid approach to training. Peace.